Welcome back to the Essentially You podcast. I am your host, Dr. Marisa Snyder, and I'm here to help you rock your hormones and feel great in your body so that you can reclaim more energy, vitality, and joy and become the CEO of your health. Let's jump on in. Earlier last week, as a part of my commitment to really focus on myself this spring, I ordered a comprehensive lab panel to get a baseline of my overall numbers. Now that it's almost been a year and a half since Kingston was born, and I'm 42, going on 43 this year, which puts me smack dab in phase 1 of perimenopause, it just felt like the right time for me to get an update on my levels and to see if there was anything that I needed to really focus on, because truth is, I'm finally feeling more like myself. Now, I don't know about you, but have you ever started to feel more like yourself when you're on a healing journey? And in that moment, you knew that it was time to dig deeper into your healing journey, because it's all about those wins. Even the small wins make the difference. And I'm not going to lie, I've gotten some wins in my focus, my memory, and my energy. They all feel like they're coming back online. And my sleep is starting to improve because Kingston is sleeping more and more in his crib consistently throughout the night. And my breastfeeding is decreasing because Kingston is eating all kinds of yummy whole foods throughout the day. Although I will say, due to the decrease in breast milk, I have a clogged milk duct right now on the left side of my breast. And why is it always on one side? I don't know if that ever happened to you too, but I am working it out right now. Despite that, I finally feel like I have gotten this reboot that I've been needing ever since having a baby and becoming a mom. Because let's be honest, motherhood is the hardest, most rewarding job there is, and it wears on your body physically and emotionally, especially in the first 2 to 3 years. And then, all the years after that. I'm still just focused on these first 2 to 3 years right now. So I know it's super important for me to be the healthiest I can be for my entire family and for myself, especially because I need all the energy when it comes to playing, dancing, and running with this constantly on the go, just amazing, rambunctious, smiley toddler. And with Mother's Day coming up this Sunday, I felt it was time to really check in with my body and give my body a little tune-up and recommit to me. So some of the things that I am committing to myself this spring, 2022, and Mother's Day are taking time for myself each and every day. And what that looks like for a mom who runs a company and has a toddler and does all the other things is taking time for myself every single day with a 30-minute walk by myself. I mean, talk about how precious alone time is. I never knew how precious it was until this last year and a half. Number 2 is taking 5 minutes to write in my self-care journal. And that's just really to set intention, to lock in my gratitude, and to just to get clear about how I want to take care of myself that day. I love my journal for this. And then taking my supplements with my protein and veggie-rich green smoothie. I love green smoothies, and they're such an easy thing to make. Kingston loves his smoothies too, which I love. We've been drinking smoothies together. But I don't know about you. I take a lot of supplements. I take like 15 to 20 supplements every single day, something like that. And it is so much easier to take them when I'm drinking a green smoothie than drinking water. So how about you? Are you feeling the renewal of spring and a recommitment to yourself as well? Are you on the same boat that I'm on, or the same train? As a woman who handles her business, I know you are passionate about taking charge of your health as well as showing up for yourself and the people that you love. I know that. I know that because you wouldn't be here listening to this today if that wasn't you. So I just want to celebrate you for that. I see you. I see you handling that business. I see you taking care of everybody. I see you mama-ing it up, right? The thing is, when we are showing up for our family, for our jobs, for our community, I think it's super important that we do recommit to ourselves. And so one of the things that I'm doing to kind of make that a little bit easier is I'm launching a little special Mother's Day sale starting tomorrow, May 4th. And it's packed with free shipping, bonus guides, and a chance to win a bundle of epic prizes. So this is going to be happening in my Essentially Whole store. As I mentioned, free shipping on every order, 10 to 15% off on my favorite products. You're going to get 2 bonus course, hormone recipe guides with every order to help you reclaim energy, sleep, focus, metabolic function, blood sugar, all of that good stuff. And then I'm going to be doing a giveaway. There's going to be 3 winners. There's a chance to win my EO Menopause Solution book and a trio of essential oils that are phenomenal for energy, mood, and sleep. That's valued at $75. So if you need to stock up because you know what you're taking are essential, definitely go and check out the sale. It's going on tomorrow, May 4th, for I think a week. And I don't know about you, like I have fallen off a little bit of my supplement routine. So I now have my supplement organizer. I've placed it literally next to my blender every single morning. So I always take them with my chocolate raspberry smoothie that I just love, 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 love. If you are interested in checking out some of the supplements that are just a must in my life: Liver Restore, Hormone Balance, Magnesium Restore, Metabolic Restore, Vitamin B Complete, all of those are just ones I take every single day. You can go to the show notes for the link or just go to drmarisa.com/shop and you'll go check it out there. Now, I want to go back to the labs that I talked about a minute ago when I first got started, because there's a good chance that you may be interested in the comprehensive labs I decided to run for where I'm at right now. And I think this is important for every woman annually, or at least every couple years. I ran a full thyroid panel, which I personally run every 3 to 4 months to make sure that everything looks good there. If you're new to the show, I have low thyroid function due to at once upon a time Hashimoto's. So I just make sure that that's all locked and loaded and that I'm taking the right Armor thyroid every single day to make sure everything's working properly. I also looked at a 24-hour serum cortisol because I want to know what's going on with my cortisol. I've had major cortisol issues in the past, along with burnout and metabolic and mitochondrial issues. I ran metabolic labs for the same reason. I ran a complete CBC, a hemoglobin A1C to see what's going on with insulin resistance, fasting glucose because that's just a standard lab they always run, fasting lipid panel, 25 hydroxy vitamin D, vitamin B12, folate, C-reactive protein, and growth hormones. That's the whole kit and caboodle that I ran. Basically, everything outside of looking at my sex hormones and neurotransmitters is what I looked at. And I'm holding off on my sex hormones right now until I start cycling again after breastfeeding. Right now, I don't have a cycle because I'm still breastfeeding. And I know that just happens to be me and my body. Some women breastfeed and they get their cycle back. Some women breastfeed and they don't. And then I am going to be testing my neurotransmitters later this week with a urine test because I do want to know, having a baby completely depletes a lot of your hormones and your neurotransmitters. And I just haven't been firing 100% on all cylinders. I think a lot of that has to do with the sleep deprivation I've been dealing with for a year and a half now that I'm finally ready to just put to bed, figuratively and literally. And so I want to just take a look and see what's going on with my neurotransmitters. Now, if you're interested in getting your labs ran, like you're like, I just need to know what's going on with me, I am going to include in the show notes my ultimate lab testing resource guide. This has a complete list of lab tests, test descriptions, and optimal ranges for each test so that you really have a great sense, one, of things that you want to look at, but then also the ranges that you should be optimally in. Oftentimes in the medical system, the ranges are just too wide that they're just not optimal, right? And so especially for things like thyroid issues, oftentimes the TSH range is just too big that you could have a thyroid issue, but your doctor would think it's a normal range, right? So this is a great guide. It'll be in the show notes, as I mentioned, or you can go to drmarisa.com/lab tests and you'll get that invaluable guide. I don't know of many guides out there like this one. It took me months and months to create it back in 2020. So absolutely worth getting your hands on and just having it as a resource. Every time I run my labs, I'm not going to lie, I am usually in anticipation of the results. And this time was no different. I think especially this time, I had a lot of anticipation around them. And luckily, I just got the labs literally yesterday. Everything came back looking better than I imagined, which was such a big relief because I have felt a little drained the last year and a half. And when I ran labs back in September, they weren't bad, but they definitely demonstrated that it was clear I was 9 months postpartum back in September. And that was literally when I turned 42. So I wanted to just get a good sense. So it felt like such a big relief that about 6 months later, everything looked just optimal range across the board. So the levers that I was really interested in was my 24-hour cortisol levels. That, I can always use work in that area. It is a work in progress. I think it'll always be a work in progress being who I am. My lipid panel, which looked phenomenal. My thyroid panel looked great. I just have maybe a little bit of an adjustment on a medication, and my hemoglobin A1C looked great too. So I was just really happy. All of it looked good. And it just kind of validates the fact that I'm on the right track, that I'm doing the right things, and I just need to stay the course and continue to make those tweaks that have me feeling like my best self. Now, when I think about all of my biggest healing protocols that turned it all around for me when my body needed a major reset, like the kind of reset that I needed was if I didn't change my course, I was going to lend into some major chronic conditions really early on in life. So whether it was healing from chronic fatigue and mitochondrial dysfunction or estrogen dominance or low thyroid function due to an autoimmune condition like Hashimoto's or irregular periods, menstrual cycle, or even the first 3 to 4 months postpartum, right? When your body is in major recovery mode. When I think about what it was always hormone, gut, and liver-loving foods, then followed by targeted supplementation to saturate my cells to get my levels back to normal, and then daily self-care rituals peppered throughout my day. And when I really, really pare it down, the first place that I have always started, and the first place I believe you should start after you decide that you deserve to have a thriving body, which 100% you can have, it always goes back to nourishing hormone-loving foods along with addressing nutrient deficiencies, which you can address some of those nutrient deficiencies with food. I mean, to some degree, right? Although what I have learned, especially when I was at the lowest of my low and barely functioning, at least it felt like I was barely functioning, targeted supplementation always moved the needle faster because they were filling in those nutrient gaps, right? If I had a major vitamin B deficiencies or a vitamin D deficiency or a magnesium deficiency or an iron deficiency or a selenium deficiency, I'll tell you what, there wasn't enough broccoli and Brazil nuts and meat, I guess, to like fix those deficiencies. I needed supplementation, especially the vitamin D piece. Like I remember taking vitamin D for years and still not seeing the needle move. Like I just had suboptimal vitamin D levels forever until I started taking the right amount with good cofactors. And that's why I love my vitamin D complete, because it will move the needle on your labs. And when I looked at my vitamin D levels just this a couple days ago, they were in optimal range. So I was super, super stoked to see that. Now, the second and third place I'd focus, which I believe integrates seamlessly with your nutrition, it's always going to be the mindfulness, self-care rituals, and again, making sure that you've got the right key vitamins, minerals, cofactors, and adaptogenic herbs, right? Those are going to be the second and third. You're going to need that trifecta to really heal the body. Now, food has always been foundational to me because it's fuel. Like we have to eat. Every single day, you got to eat, right? Unless you're doing like a 24-hour or 48-hour fast. That's a whole nother conversation for another day. And then you want to make sure that you are giving your cells everything that they need to function, right? Whether it's your omegas or it's your probiotics or it's your vitamin D or your magnesium, your vitamin C, you're making sure that you're getting all of those nutrients so that you can move the needle quicker. So today, what I'm super excited to share with you is the 10 foods that are always in my kitchen, including today, like right now, that we eat every single week. Yes, one of those foods is avocado, even if Kingston is still not feeling avocado yet. I'm like, who is this child? He's clearly my child. But honestly, what's up with the avocado situation? With that said, I want you to know that I recognize how deeply embedded food is when it comes to family time, celebration, stress, parties, holidays, even the weekends, right? When you are having your cheat days or you go out to brunch with your best friends and you opt for that sexy gluten and dairy, sugar-filled French toast, right? Although I do go to restaurants that actually make gluten-free, dairy-free, yummy honey or maple syrup French toast. Those places do exist. I absolutely believe that you can upgrade your snacks, you can upgrade your desserts, you can upgrade your breakfast. We have so many great healthy choices that can reduce inflammation, that let you have some of that comfort food, but it's an upgraded version of that, right? There's an upgraded version of a waffle. There's an upgraded version of like a gluten-free 3-ingredient pancake. It's out there. I know that food habits can be complicated and challenging to break. I know because even I fall in and out of great food habits all year long. It happens. It's actually one of the reasons why I wanted to look at my labs, because I'll be honest with you, since I moved during the holidays up until late March, I have made more concessions than I normally do. And I know that's because I have felt super burned out and I have felt super sleep deprived. And when I'm feeling burned out and exhausted, I often reach for something like extra caffeine or maybe a little bit of dark chocolate or a snack at 3 o'clock in the afternoon to get me over that hump. Like, I know, you just know yourself, right? And I've had moments where I've emotionally been eating, where I'm like, you know what? I deserve that gluten-free, sexy paleo cupcake. And so I knew come springtime, it was just time for a reset. What I want to say is that, when it comes to recognizing you've incorporated some habits, it's always okay to be like, okay, I've gotten clear on this. I want to make a change here. And this is what I'm going to be doing moving forward. And kind of how we started setting that up, my husband and I, Alex, is that we were like, okay, what are the foods we really want? What are the foods we do not want in the house? Let's make sure we're getting rid of those foods. Let's set a clean slate. So it's really nice to have a partner who's always on board. He and I are like, you know what? As new parents, we both deserve a spring refresher. So these are the top 10 superfoods that we eat every single week, if not every single day, right? And I hope that these superfoods, which are amazing for your liver, your gut, and hormones, and also will help reduce inflammation, are foods that you think that you would love to incorporate as well, or foods that you are already incorporating. So let's start with this top 10 superfood list, and then be thinking, think about how often you're eating these foods, if they're in your kitchen every single week as well. If so, heck yes. If not, maybe you have a yes and moment of yes, and I would love to have that food in my house, or I'd love to have more of this food in my house. And note that this is just my own personal list. This isn't the end all be all list. I do have really great lists. I have a great food list in my EO menopause book, my EO hormone solution book. I also have great food lists in my detox protocols. So there's a lot of places where you can find great hormone, gut, and liver loving food lists. This is just a very short one. Number 1, and this is in no particular order, green leafy veggies. Now, of all the green leafy veggies, I often buy a medley of green leafy veggies, but my favorite, hands down, is arugula, because it has a sexy, bitter kick that your liver absolutely loves. Now, leafy veggies are rich in antioxidants. They have essential nutrients like magnesium. Spinach, kale, and other dark veggies are great, rich with magnesium and calcium, vitamin K, which helps the body with enzyme processing, including the synthesis of hormones. So bring on the green leafy vegetables, not to mention all the fiber, and your microbiome loves green leafy vegetables. Number 2, probably the biggest staple in my house, is broccoli and other cruciferous vegetables. Cauliflower is another major favorite. These are super sexy veggies that are known to crowd out environmental toxins from the gut and the liver. So we roast broccoli every single week, technically multiple times a week, and we make a ton of cauliflower rice. With our cauliflower rice, we add peas and carrots and bell peppers, all kinds of yummy things to our cauliflower rice, and cilantro to kind of make it like a fried rice, except that it's not technically a fried rice at all. And then we add frozen cauliflower to our green smoothies every day, and definitely to Kingston's yummy strawberry and raspberry smoothies. It's a way to get some good veggies, and they just blend right in. You don't even taste them. Cruciferous vegetables act as housekeepers to your immune system. 70% of your immune system is beneath the layer of your gut, which is thinner than a piece of tissue paper. So vegetables trigger cleanup in your immune system so beautifully. So get in where you fit in. Just start bringing on in these yummy cruciferous vegetables. Your hormones will love them. Number 3 is avocado. I told you it was going to be on the list. It is on the list. I add avocado to salads, smoothies, basically anything I can add to avocado to, I add avocado to. I make a ton of guacamole here in this house. I have won guacamole contests. I have guacamole recipes, I think, in every single book because I love it so much. But avocados are filled with good fats, vitamin B, E, magnesium, potassium, fiber, folic acid. These are so critical for keeping your hormones balanced, keeping progesterone levels super yummy and high. So bring on the avocado. Next is wild-caught salmon. This is a must. Actually, we're having salmon right now. So tonight for dinner, we're having salmon, cauliflower rice, broccoli, and probably a salad with avocado. That's probably what we're having. I know Alex is making a salmon as I record this right now. I also love tuna, sea bass, trout, but we tend to limit the tuna and sea bass 1 to 3 times per month. Salmon, for me, I love it. It's my favorite flavor of fish. It has healthy proteins, vitamin D, omega-3s, super critical. It's like that really good fat. Next is berries. We are obsessed with berries. Kingston is a berry lover. He and I have a very special love affair with raspberries, but we always have strawberries, blueberries, and raspberries in our house. They are packed with fiber, antioxidants, polyphenols. Berries, they are packing the biggest punch, right? Next is Brazil nuts. I chop Brazil nuts and add them to salads. I also love to have almonds on hand and organic cashews as well. So I like a plethora of nuts and seeds. So you can just kind of combine all that into this category. But Brazil nuts in particular have the highest concentration of selenium that can be gained from food. It only takes a small amount to help decrease thyroid antibodies and to boost your hormone production. So just 2 or 3 Brazil nuts a day is a really healthy habit. But I think a little handful of nuts in general can be really helpful. Next is squash. Squash is another big staple in our house. We roast spaghetti squash every week, butternut squash, and zucchini. We may spiralize zucchini noodles with dairy-free pesto. Squash is just a great source of healthy carbs and fiber, and it can act as a substitute for rice. Well, cauliflower rice acts as a substitute there too, but for noodles, for pasta, and it's just really, really filling. It's got a great source of fiber. So we get a lot of fiber from squash. Then number 10 for us, by the way, I've got bonuses, so don't worry, is organic nut milks. Now, typically we opt for an organic almond milk for coffee and tea and smoothies, although I usually do water for smoothies too. It just really depends. I kind of do a combo half and half. 3 trees, because I know that almonds can have pesticides, herbicide residue. So something to just be looking out for when it comes to nut milks, what's in it, emulsifiers and all kinds of yuckiness. So just look at the ingredient list, make sure it's an almond milk or an oat milk that you feel really good with. Now that leads me to my 3 bonuses because I couldn't just keep it to 10. I just had a really hard time doing that. So bonus number 1 is fresh herbs like cilantro, basil, mint, and dill, and rosemary. We have a fresh herb garden, so we have a lot of herbs. We are obsessed with cilantro. I know people either love it or hate it. We are a love it family. And we are also obsessed with basil. Like we make homemade dairy-free pesto every single week. I love mint for iced teas, for salads, for smoothies. I mean, they're just so versatile and they're good for cleaning up toxins as well. Next, another bonus number 2 is grass-fed meat such as bison and lamb for an added protein source. These are far less inflammatory than conventional meats and help to ensure that we get adequate protein, which women definitely need. There's lots of different ways to get it, 100%, but we start to lose muscle mass in our late 30s, early 40s. So just note that you got to get in where you fit in when it comes to protein sources. And I'll be honest with you, I'm obsessed with lamb meatballs. Bonus number 3. Healthy, sexy, dairy-free, vegan, paleo chocolate like Evolve chocolate or Hu chocolate. I do like Evolve chocolate because it has a little bit less sugar and they make keto cups. Oh my God, their keto cups, their coconut keto cups are so good. And then Hu chocolate, I always love Hu chocolate, but it is good, clean sugar. Anyway, it's sugar no matter how you slice it. So it depends on what you're looking for. If you love a little bit of sugar, Hu chocolate is great. If you love the no sugar option, Evolve. And then another company that I like, although they do use sugar alcohols and stevia, is going to be, I believe it's Lily's chocolate. That's another option too. So there you have it. These are 10 of our must-have favorite hormone-loving foods that are in our kitchen at all times, all year round, plus my 3 bonuses, the herbs, the grass-fed meat, and the chocolate, right? And what I recognize is in this list, it's one thing to have a list of amazing hormone-loving foods and gut and liver-loving foods, but it's another thing to actually start cooking with these foods on a weekly. That's where it can get a bit daunting. So I know this is true because I have supported thousands of people through my 14-day detox. And let me tell you, cooking with new foods that you are not 100% familiar with can feel challenging. And that resistance always comes up, even especially the first week of any detox that we run. That's the biggest resistance is there enough to eat? What am I making? Are the recipes, decent? That's the stuff that comes up all the time. And understandably, food is so important. So that's why I want to quickly mention that in my Mother's Day sale that I'm doing with every order, even if it's just one supplement that you really may need or that someone you love needs, right? I can't tell you how many supplements I've given to friends and family, especially family over the years. Like my mom and my sister are on a ton of my supplements, Adrenal Love, Hormone Balance. Something about gifting people a supplement that's going to change their life is just, I think, a really great gift. It's a gift that I give personally, especially if they're struggling with energy or struggling with hormone issues. It could be the game changer. So what you'll get is free shipping. You're going to get discounts, but I have an instant bonus that you're going to get as a free bonus. And it's my 14 hormone balancing recipe guide with some super yummy recipes that correspond with the list that I just gave you, including drinks, salads, entrees, and sides. So you just got to go to drmarisa.com/shop or head over to the show notes. The link will be there, because you'll get all the goodies. You'll get all the bonus goodies. You'll get entered into the giveaway, and you will be taking care of your body as well. So I don't know about you, but I'm on that recommitment train. And one of the reasons why I wanted to have this Mother's Day sale was because I was feeling that recommitment and wanted to extend that opportunity to you as well. As always, thank you so much for listening in to the Essentially You podcast. This show is all about providing tools to rock your hormones and feel amazing in your body. If there's someone in your life that needs to hear this today, I hear that. Maybe they need a top 10 list plus bonuses. Take a screenshot and send it on over via text message, or the easiest way to send it on over to them, whatever works best for them and you. That way we continue to spread the word about hormone literacy. And better yet, if you do share it on social, #HormoneCEO. And until the next day or next time, have a wonderful Mother's Day weekend with the mamas in your life. And I will see you next week.